All right, welcome to another deep dive. You ready to talk campaign canvasser interviews?
Absolutely. Let's jump right in.
Okay, so we're going to cover some common interview questions, and um, I'm really interested in getting your take on how to best answer these, in a way that really makes an impact. First, though, just to set the scene, RoleCatcher says that a campaign canvasser is a dedicated professional who works on the front lines of political campaigns, actively interacting with individuals in public settings to garner support for their candidate.
Yeah.
They're responsible for, well, engaging in compelling conversations, gathering valuable feedback, and ensuring the dissemination of crucial campaign information to a broad audience.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is, but it also shows how impactful this role can be, right?
Right.
I mean, that direct link between the campaign and the voters and that ability to connect with people one-on-one can really make a difference.
Totally. Okay, so let's dive into the first question that we're going to cover. How do you get into campaign canvassing? Seems pretty straightforward, but what are some ways to really make our answers stand out?
Yeah. What's interesting here is that the interviewer isn't just looking for like a timeline, They're trying to gauge your genuine interest and motivation.
Yeah.
Why are you passionate about this specific field? What drives you to engage in political campaigns?
Okay, so should we avoid those kind of generic answers like, "Oh, I've always been interested in politics."
Definitely. Think about those specific experiences that demonstrate your interest and then connect them to a desire to contribute to campaigns. Maybe you volunteered for a local election, participated in a debate club, or even just had like a really inspiring conversation that ignited your passion, about a political issue.
I love that. So it's all about showcasing our genuine interest through real life examples.
Exactly. And remember, structure is key here, right?
Yeah.
Start with a concise overview of your background, but highlight those experiences that demonstrate your interest in politics or community engagement, and then connect those to a genuine desire to contribute to these campaigns, right? You want to shape public opinion. Maybe you're passionate about a specific issue or deeply believe in the candidate's vision, Let that shine through.
Right. Show that passion. Okay, next question. What do you think are the most important qualities for a successful campaign canvasser? What's the best way to approach this one?
Okay, so this question is all about showing that self-awareness, right? And understanding the demands of the role.
Yeah.
The interviewer wants to see if you've thought about the specific skills and traits that are just crucial for success in this field.
Okay, so don't just rattle off a bunch of generic adjectives.
No, definitely not. Focus on qualities that are directly relevant to the role of a campaign canvasser. Think persuasion, strong communication skills, resilience, that ability to engage with diverse communities, active listening, adaptability, and of course a positive attitude.
I'm really interested in that adaptability you mentioned, especially with how technology is really changing the way campaigns are run.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Campaigns are increasingly relying on technology, right?
Oh.
Social media, data analytics, online fundraising platforms, all of it.
Yeah.
And the ability to learn and adapt to these new tools is absolutely essential for modern campaign canvassers.
So if we have experience with those skills, we should definitely highlight that. But what if we're not super tech savvy, but we're willing to learn?
Yeah. That's totally fine. Just express that willingness to learn. Highlight any transferable skills you might have that could be applied to a technology-driven environment. If you're comfortable learning new software or have some experience analyzing data in other contexts, those are valuable assets.
That's super helpful. So it's not just about what we know now, but our ability to learn and adapt.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to another question that I think is really crucial. How do you handle rejection when canvassing?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, this one's going to be tough for a lot of people.
This one's all about resilience. Canvassing involves hearing no a lot, and interviewers want to see that you can handle that rejection without getting discouraged.
Yeah.
They're looking for someone who can bounce back, stay positive, and just keep pushing forward. So think about a time when you faced rejection and how you dealt with it constructively. Did you use it as a learning experience? Did you maybe find ways to adjust your approach?
So it's kind of about turning a negative experience into a positive one.
Precisely. Rejection isn't always personal, right? It might be timing, it might be the person's mood, or any number of other factors. The key is to not take it to heart and to just focus on that next interaction.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about prioritizing time. How do you prioritize your time when canvassing? This seems like a question that could trip someone up.
Yeah, for sure.
Any advice on how to tackle this one?
This question really focuses on efficiency and strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Canvassers often have limited time and a lot of ground to cover. So interviewers want to see, that you can manage your time wisely. Think about specific strategies you would use to prioritize those tasks effectively. Would you familiarize yourself with the area beforehand?
Sure.
Would you identify key demographics to target? Maybe you'd use technology to map your route and track your progress.
So it's about being strategic and using our time effectively, not just like blindly knocking on every door.
Exactly. And don't forget to highlight any experience you might have where you successfully managed your time, in a fast-paced environment.
Great point. Okay, how about this question? Can you tell me about a time when you had to adapt your approach to canvassing based on the person you were talking to?
Okay, yeah.
This seems pretty interesting.
It is. It delves into that flexibility, right? And
Right.
and interpersonal skills. Can you kind of read the room and adjust your message based on the individual you're engaging with?
This is where those active listening skills really come in handy, right?
Absolutely. It's about picking up on those cues, gauging someone's level of interest, and tailoring your approach accordingly. Have you ever encountered someone who was initially maybe hostile, but then you managed to, de-escalate the situation and still have like a productive conversation?
Ooh, that's a good storytelling opportunity.
It is. Share a specific story, an anecdote that really highlights that ability to connect with people from different backgrounds, different perspectives.
Okay, how do you handle difficult conversations when canvassing? This one sounds tough. What are your thoughts?
This one really gets at conflict resolution, right?
Yeah.
And maintaining your composure. You're bound to encounter folks who just, disagree with your message, right?
Right.
And some might even become, confrontational. The interviewer really wants to see that you can handle these situations gracefully and professionally.
So it's about staying calm,
Mm.
listening respectfully, and maybe trying to find some common ground, even when faced with those opposing viewpoints.
Exactly. Highlight your ability to de-escalate those tense situations, listen even to those opposing viewpoints and try to find common ground. Or maybe just, end the conversation amicably.
Great advice.
Mhm.
Okay, we all know campaigns can be super long and grueling.
Yeah.
So how do you stay motivated during those long days of canvassing?
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that can be really tough.
They're really interested in your stamina here, both physically and mentally. Campaigning is demanding work, and the interviewer wants to know you have that energy and enthusiasm to keep going, even when faced with those challenges and setbacks.
I imagine a genuine passion for the campaign's goals is probably a great motivator.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But also think about some practical strategies. Maybe you break down the day into more manageable chunks, or you set mini goals for yourself, You find ways to stay energized. Maybe listen to music or take short breaks.
Okay, those are some great tips. Let's move on to a question about handling sensitive information.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle confidential information when canvassing?
Okay.
What's the best way to approach this?
This question is all about trustworthiness and discretion, right?
Right.
As a campaign canvasser, you'll likely have access to sensitive voter data, maybe some internal campaign strategies.
Mhm.
It's essential to demonstrate that you understand data privacy, that you have experience handling confidential information, and that you're committed to following all the relevant protocols.
Okay, so we should really emphasize our commitment to those ethical practices and our ability to maintain confidentiality.
Exactly. And if you have any specific training or certifications related to data security, definitely mention those.
Got it. Now, for our final question in this section, how do you measure the success of your canvassing efforts? What is the interviewer really looking for here?
They're looking to see if you have like a results-oriented mindset.
Okay.
Canvassers need to track their progress, analyze their effectiveness, and just continually refine their approach.
Mhm.
It's not just about the effort, it's about the impact.
So how can we best showcase our ability to kind of like measure and analyze our results?
Well, you could discuss how you track metrics like the number of conversations you have, right? The number of positive responses you receive, or the number of people who who pledged to vote for your candidate.
Yeah.
But it's not just about listing the metrics. It's about explaining how you actually use that data to improve your strategy.
So it's about demonstrating that we're data-driven and constantly looking for ways to improve our approach.
Exactly. Data-driven decision-making is highly valued in any field, but especially in the fast-paced world of political campaigning.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground already. And before we jump into the next set of questions, I want to quickly highlight RoleCatcher's AI features.
Yes. Those are fantastic resources.
They are. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze job descriptions, identify key skills, and even tailor your answers to specifically address those requirements.
Right.
It's like having a personal career coach, right in your pocket.
Yeah.
Helping you craft those perfect responses.
Yeah. It also provides feedback on your answers, right?
Yeah.
It suggests improvements, highlights areas where you can strengthen your responses. It's an incredibly valuable tool, to make sure you're really putting your best foot forward.
It's like having a secret weapon for interview preparation.
Okay, let's move on to the next set of questions.
Let's do it. Okay, so let's tackle a question that often makes people a little nervous. What are your salary expectations? It's a pretty common question, but how do we handle it without underselling ourselves or seeming out of touch?
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky one. I always get a little flustered when this question comes up.
It's understandable. Remember, this is a two-way street, right?
Mm-hmm.
The interviewer is trying to gauge your value and make sure it aligns with their budget. You want to make sure you're getting fair compensation for your skills and experience. Research is key here.
Look into, industry benchmarks for similar roles in your area. Websites like Glassdoor or Salary.com, those are fantastic resources.
Right.
Also, consider the specific demands of this campaign, the level of responsibility involved, and of course your own experience and qualifications.
So don't undervalue ourselves, but how do we actually, approach that conversation without sounding too demanding?
Yeah, instead of giving like a specific number, consider providing a salary range based on your research and your desired compensation. You could say something like, based on my experience in research, I'm targeting a salary range of X to Y. This, leaves some room for negotiation while still setting those clear expectations.
That's a really good strategy. And I imagine being prepared to justify those expectations is important too, right?
Oh, absolutely. You want to be ready to highlight your relevant skills, those accomplishments, the unique value that you bring to the campaign. This is another area where, RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly useful. It can help you identify your most marketable skills and then, frame them in a way that really resonates with the campaign's needs.
Love that. Okay, on to some classic interview questions here. What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah.
Tell me about a time you faced a challenge and how you overcame it. These seem like staples in almost every interview I've ever had.
They are. And for good reason. These questions offer a deeper look into, your personality, your work ethic, your problem-solving skills. For strengths, choose a few that are directly relevant to the role of a campaign canvasser, like communication skills, persuasion, resilience, things like that. And for weaknesses, it's always good to choose something that you're actively working on to improve, right?
Right. It shows that self-awareness and a desire for growth.
Exactly. Maybe you have a tendency to, take on too much responsibility, or maybe you get caught up in the details. It's about showing that you're aware of those areas for development and actively taking steps to improve. As for the challenge question, prepare a specific anecdote that showcases your problem-solving skills, maybe your ability to work under pressure or your dedication to achieving goals.
So maybe a time you had to, rally a team of volunteers despite setbacks, or when you had to, quickly adapt to a change in campaign strategy. Those real-life examples, I think, really make our answers come alive.
Those are perfect examples. And remember, specificity is key. Highlight your actions, your thought process, and of course, a positive outcome.
Great advice. RoleCatcher also really emphasizes the importance of asking insightful questions during the interview. It's not just about answering their questions, but really engaging in that conversation and showing genuine interest in the campaign.
Yeah, that's a really important point. Asking thoughtful questions shows that curiosity, shows that you came prepared, and that you're genuinely invested in this opportunity.
So what are some good questions that we can ask to really impress the interviewer and gather some valuable insights about the campaign?
You could ask about the campaign's, specific goals, the target demographics they're focusing on, or how they incorporate technology into their outreach efforts. You could inquire about the team dynamic, the training and support that's provided, or maybe even opportunities for growth within the campaign.
Oh, those are great. We could also ask about the interviewer's personal experiences, on the campaign trail. I feel like people love sharing their stories, and it shows that we're interested in their perspective.
Excellent suggestion. It adds that personal touch and creates a connection.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of interview prep. Let's talk about the actual interview itself. Any tips for making a killer first impression?
Oh, first impressions are crucial, right? You want to dress professionally, arrive on time, maybe even a few minutes early, and just be enthusiastic, be engaged right from the get-go. A genuine smile, good eye contact, a confident demeanor, all of that goes a long way.
It's all about projecting that energy and enthusiasm, letting them know we're really excited about this opportunity.
Exactly. And remember, you're not just being interviewed, right? You're also assessing whether this campaign aligns with your values and goals.
It's a really important point. It's about finding a role where we can really thrive and make a meaningful contribution. How can we get a sense of whether this campaign is really the right fit for us?
You know, Pay attention to the interviewer's demeanor, the questions they ask, and the overall atmosphere of the campaign. Does their vision resonate with you? Do you feel a sense of excitement, a shared purpose? Trust your instincts there.
So it's a two-way street, right? We're evaluating them just as much as they're evaluating us.
Precisely. If it feels like a good fit, let your enthusiasm shine through. If not, it might not be the right opportunity for you, at this time.
Okay, now let's talk about follow-up. I know this is important, but I often struggle with what to say and when to say it.
Yeah. Follow-up is essential. It shows professionalism, courtesy, and that continued interest in the opportunity. Always send a thank you note, within 24 hours of the interview. Express gratitude for their time, reiterate your interest in the position, and even mention something specific that you discussed, that really resonated with you.
So personalize it a bit, make it memorable. That makes a lot of sense.
It does. And if you haven't heard back within, a reasonable time frame, don't hesitate to follow up again to, just hear about the status of the hiring process.
So persistence is key.
Absolutely. And remember, even if you don't get this specific job, view the interview as a learning experience, Reflect on what went well, what you could improve on, and how you can prepare even better for that next interview. Each interview is a chance to grow and refine your skills. The more you practice, the more confident and prepared you'll become.
That's a great reminder. It's a journey, not a destination.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything there is to know about acing that campaign canvasser interview. We've delved into the role's key responsibilities, dissected those tricky interview questions, and even explored how technology like RoleCatcher's AI can really be a game changer in our preparation.
Oh. Yeah, we've given them a lot to think about and some really powerful strategies to put into practice.
Absolutely. I'm confident that with the right preparation, a positive attitude, and the incredible resources available through platforms like RoleCatcher, you can make a lasting impression and land that dream job on the campaign trail.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really insightful journey, exploring the ins and outs of prepping for these campaign canvasser interviews.
It really has. And before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a kind of thought-provoking question. It connects back to what we were discussing earlier about technology's evolving role in campaigns.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
All right. So considering all those rapid advancements in technology and social media's increasing influence, how do you see the role of a campaign canvasser changing in the future?
Ooh, that's a fascinating question to consider. Will that traditional door-to-door canvassing, will Will it become obsolete, or will it adapt and integrate with those new technologies? Will data analytics play an even bigger role in shaping those campaign strategies? And maybe most importantly, how can aspiring campaign canvassers position themselves to be at the forefront of this evolution?
It's all about embracing innovation, right? Staying curious and continuously learning those new skills, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's about being adaptable and being open to new ways of connecting with voters. Imagine developing like a groundbreaking app that revolutionizes voter outreach, or creating a social media campaign that goes viral and mobilizes a whole new generation of
The
voters.
possibilities are truly endless. That's what makes this field so exciting, right? It's dynamic, it's challenging, and it's constantly evolving.
And with the right mindset and resources like RoleCatcher, you can be a driving force in shaping the future of political engagement.
Well said. Well, I think that wraps up our deep dive into campaign canvasser interview prep. We explored those key responsibilities of the role, dissected those often tricky interview questions, and even discovered how technology can be a real game changer in our preparation.
And hopefully we've armed you with some valuable insights and practical strategies so you can approach your interview with confidence and make a lasting impression.
Remember, even if the path gets a little challenging, never lose sight of the bigger picture,
Hmm.
your passion for making a difference.
Beautifully said.
Thank you for joining us on this journey, and remember to keep exploring, keep learning, and never stop diving deep.